Hi there, my name is Emma and welcome to my channel. I make videos on art, upcycling, and DIYs, so if that interests you, feel free to subscribe. Today I'm doing something a little bit different and I'm showing you guys how to make some medieval style jewelry out of polymer clay. I haven't done a ton of jewelry tutorials on here, so let me know if you enjoy this video and I definitely will be making more. I do have a confession to make. I did film this video back in January, so 8 months ago, and I never got around to posting it because I just couldn't convince myself to film myself in the jewelry. I hate filming myself. This is my least favorite part of my job. I'm wearing it right now, but you'll see a lot of flat lays in the video because I wasn't in the mood to film myself for 8 months. So you'll notice that the desk is different in the video and a lot of things are different because this was filmed in January. But thankfully, medieval jewelry is still in. I'll show you some examples on the screen of the type of vibe of jewelry I'm going for. I feel like a hallmark of this style of jewelry is kind of precious stones. And because most of us are not metalsmiths, polymer clay makes it a lot more accessible. I love the idea of embedding beads in polymer clay to kind of make them look like bezeled stones. So the goals here were a lot of stones and also some gold and kind of mushy gold, if that makes sense, because a lot of these things back in the day were hand hammered to create the shapes, so they're really imperfect and a lot of statement pieces. I had so much fun making this video. I hope you enjoy the jewelry and let's get into the video. For all of the jewelry in this video, I'm going to be using this gold Sculpey Primo. It's great. I've been using it for all of my gold projects for years. You're going to start by rolling it out, and then I have a set of these clay cookie cutters that I'll be using, and the first thing I'm going to do is make a pendant. So I got the largest circle one, and then I found these gorgeous aquamarine beads at Michael's, and I placed one right in the middle. I don't love that you can see the line down the middle, but it doesn't bother me enough to not use it. And then I also got these natural stone tiny ones, and they are so adorable, so I started placing them around the middle stone. I tried spacing them as evenly as possible, and all of these designs I was coming up with as I was going, so I did a little bit of thinking before I started, but I was doing a lot of improv. So I grabbed this little tiny tool to create some more texture, kind of these little triangles in between each one. I think the goal here is to give kind of a hand hammered look. Looks very, soft and imperfect. I also added some dots, and then I wanted to create a little loop for the chain to go around to attach the pendant to the necklace. So I created 2 connected triangles, and then I folded them over and connected them at the bottom. I do wish I had left a little bit more space as I was doing this, but it still turned out okay, and I did create kind of a pattern on there as well. And then I attached it to the pendant, and I used just a skewer to kind of help me do all of this and make sure that the hole stayed and didn't collapse. And then I realized that the stone I chose kind of had a weird lump on it, so I did switch it out for another one, which I liked a little bit better with no lump. And then I'll be using this gold powder. It's kind of like a gold mica powder for all of the jewelry in this video. And I just dusted it, and it'll come off the stones eventually, but I just dusted it overall and wiped it off the stones, and it gives just the prettiest gold luster, and it looks so amazing. And then I baked it at 275 for 30 minutes, and here is the finished result. I baked it with the beads in and then glued them back on after, and it looks so amazing. It's such a cool, unique statement piece. The next thing I made was a set of earrings, and for this I rolled out that same clay, but I didn't end up using one of my cookie cutters. I wanted them to be square, and so I used an X-Acto knife to cut a strip out, and then I tried to make I guess they're rectangle, some even rectangle pieces for the top, and then for the bottom, because this is going to be kind of like a 2-part dangling earring, I used some really small circle cookie cutter clay things to create some tiny circles. I didn't want the rectangles to be completely perfect, so I dulled out the edges. And then I got these really pretty beads from Michael's, and I decided to put one in each of the largest part of the earrings. So I squished those on in. I thought these red beads would be a really nice complement to the blue-green centerpieces, so I grabbed one of those and I put one in each of the four corners of each of the earrings. I think these are so pretty. I want to go back and get more and make like a matching necklace or something. I think this is such a fun technique because I love the look of natural stones, but obviously it's just like, where are you going to find a natural stone? And I don't know anything about metal smithing and bezels, so this technique is cool because you can kind of just shove a natural stone crystal into clay and it creates its own sort of bezel. And here I'm just pushing it in a little bit and I'm creating some designs, but I love how you can use kind of semi-precious elements and some basic clay to elevate your clay pieces a little bit and still get to enjoy natural stones. So I made some embossing designs around everything, and I'm just adding little tiny marks to just give a little bit more detail. After I finished that part, I realized that these needed to be connected in some way. So I got this really thin gold wire and some pliers, and I made a little loop and just cut it to be, I don't know, maybe half an inch, maybe a little bit shorter. And then I shoved that loop into the clay. There's definitely a better way to do this. And then there's a specific tool to create these loops, but I don't have that tool. So this will work. And this is going to allow me to attach a jump ring in between each of the pieces. So I put one on the top, which is going to connect to the earring hook, and then one on the bottom, which is going to connect to this piece. So in total, I made 3 for each earring, and I was careful not to kind of push the beads out. And I am not going to show in this video how I attach the jump rings, but I'm sure if you're a basic crafter, you know how to open a jump ring and close it. And then I'm using this gold mica again, and it looks so good. Just making sure everything is a nice even coat. And here is the finished result with the jump ring and the earring hooks attached. I think they turned out so good. I love the bright, bold colors. I think it works so well with this medieval style. The next piece I made was another pendant, but this one is going to be a little bit smaller. So I used this medium circle cookie cutter situation, and then I found these mother of pearl circles, and I knew this would be like a great centerpiece for some sort of pendant, so I shoved it right on into the middle, and I tried to squish the clay around it just to make it a little bit more secure. And then I got those beads that I used at the very beginning, and I'm pressing them around the center yet again. And as I'm doing this, I'm trying to make sure the place that has like the hole that a string would go through is not facing the top. You want to make sure those are on the exact sides so you can't really see them once they've been pressed into the clay. After I've done that, I am adding some little details. Here I'm just doing little tiny triangles, and this just gives the eye more to look at. And I feel like the more detail, the better. I also wanted to add beads to the outside, so I kind of just press them on there and I will glue them later after baking. I needed to make a tiny loop for this one as well in order for it to be connected. So I made that wire loop, the same one that I made earlier, and then as always, I'm finishing it with some of this gold powder. I definitely could have done the clay, the gold, and then the beads, but this is just the technique I landed on. And here is the finished result. I did glue all of those beads back on, and I think it looks so great. It feels like something that's actually historically accurate, to me at least. The last piece I made was a set of earrings, and this is actually something I've done before, and it kind of is supposed to look like some hand-hammered vintage, kind of like worn out gold coins. The nice thing about this is it doesn't have to be perfect because it's all worn and you can't even see what's going on. So I started with 2 medium-sized circles, and I think it's important to make those kind of lines all the way along the outside. And then I started by making a figure. And I think I was following some sort of vintage coin looking thing online. I was probably looking at an inspo image, but I think the most important thing here is to have some sort of figure. I think this figure was holding like a basket by a tree or something. So I just used a clay tool and pushed a bunch of clay back and left kind of like a relief of the figure. And then I did 4 circles on the outside. This was kind of a motif that I saw a lot in medieval jewelry, or maybe not accurately medieval, but you know, whatever. And then I used that wire technique again to make a loop at the top. I also ended up making little tiny pieces because I love a 2-part earring, so I had to make a wire for that as well, and then I covered the whole thing in gold. Like I said, I've made a few pieces like this before. I used to be super obsessed with this artist called Cleopatra's Bling, who makes jewelry. I actually wore her earrings on my wedding day, but she has a lot of pieces that are like this where it feels like a vintage coin. I also glued flat back earrings to the back of these and connected them with a jump ring, and I am so happy with all of the detail and how cool they look. I love how all of these turned out. I feel like a lot of this jewelry would be super fun for a Ren fair, but I personally will be wearing it in my everyday life. I love statement jewelry, and I feel like I don't have a lot of fashion sense when it comes to clothes. I'm working on it, but I do express myself through jewelry, so I love when I can hop on a trend and integrate it into my everyday wear. I hope to be wearing these pieces for years. I do think they are medieval inspired, but I think they could be worn for years to come. I absolutely love how they turned out, and I do feel like fun jewelry really allows me personally to express myself. So let me know if you liked this type of video, if you want more jewelry videos, or maybe you want a medieval style video of medieval home decor. Let me know what you want to see from me. Thank you so much for watching, and happy making.